1 more minute.
Mhm.
Welcome, everyone. I see more people hopping on. Right, we can start to get started just for the sake of time and knowing that it's a summer night for many people and you might have other things to do. So we'll do introductions first and then we'll kind of just like jump right in. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. My wonderful co-host here can help me out while I'm presenting, and if not, we can answer questions at the end. So my name's Samantha. I'm the Assistant Director of Student Leadership at Seton Hall University. I work in the Office of Student Engagement, and I specifically work with Fraternity and Sorority life. Pass it to you, Olivia.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Olivia. I'm a senior at Seton Hall, and I'm one of the Office of Student Engagement interns. So I'm here to like moderate the chat and also present. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and we'll also have time at the end if you want to unmute yourself, if you're brave.
Okay, awesome. So we'll just get started. So we're going to kind of just give an overview of like what it looks like to get involved, what different opportunities there are on campus. So as you can see here, just some pictures along with it, there are various aspects that you can get involved with the campus. So whether that's clubs and organizations, so you probably have clubs in your high school settings right now, but this would look like kind of clubs that are based on interests groups, like let's just say you were really like Olivia's Italian and she's in the Italian club, like things like that. So it doesn't have to be that specific, but there are general clubs for that. There's student government. I'll go into more later on, but student government, similar to probably how you have it in your high school, or student council-esque. There's a student activities, and this is a group that kind of puts on the big events for the campus, which we'll explain. And then fraternities and sororities, which is Greek life, otherwise known as. And this is kind of it's a tough thing to explain like exactly what it is, but it's basically a social organization for the most part. There is business fraternities and sororities, and then there's also cultural-based fraternities and sororities, and there are service ones, and I think a couple others. So there's varying aspects of fraternities and sorority life, but basically it's just a different social group of students. You can move on, Olivia. Okay, so what's on deck the weekend this week at SHU? So weekend programming is a big thing at Seton Hall and is something that is ever increasing. So with that, programming from the Student Activities Board, which is what we kind of mentioned before, doing the large events, and clubs and organizations host events on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturday, and Sunday nights. They're open to all students, and you'll see them either on the green, which is pretty popular, or in some of the major spaces on campus. Some of the options that you'll see some of these groups hosting are off-campus trips to the beach, the American Dream Mall, Broadway shows, and more. The ones that are on campus would include things like formals, dances, talent shows, concerts, etc. So we want to make sure that you feel engaged on your community while you're at Seton Hall. So on those weekends, you'll find a lot of organizations participating in something to do. So I know it's a big push now that it won't just be even the Student Activities Board, but clubs kind of contributing to the weekend programming that we have on campus. I don't know if Olivia wants to talk more about weekend programming, if you have any.
Yeah, so I think my favorite weekend programming, which is hosted by the Student Activities Board, is Fire Pits and Friends, and sometimes also like Fire Pits and Movie Nights. And so SAB will rent out a bunch of like portable fire pits as well as lawn chairs and a big inflatable movie screen. And it happens like 2 or 3 times a semester, like weather permitting, obviously. But it's a lot of fun. It's usually on the green or in one of like the big parking lots. It's just a really great time with friends. There's usually snacks offered. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
You'll always find free food at Seton Hall. I feel like, so I recently joined Seton Hall's community, which I'm super excited about, and I've noticed there's food everywhere. So the next thing we have to focus on, and things we've all been talking about, was the Student Activities Board. So this is a student group that's responsible for large-scale events on campus. They host off-campus events on the weekends and host major things like traditional events on campus. Some examples of this are winter ball, concerts, comedy shows, spring carnival. So you'll find that the larger scale events, so like if you've ever heard of big concerts, so some schools call them spring concert. If you guys know who Allie and AJ is, they were brought to campus last year. If anyone's a fan of Impractical Jokers, Sal Volcano was here as a comedy act. He did stand-up. I'm trying to think of other big people we've had, Olivia, if you know any, but go ahead.
A few years ago, we had Yara Shahidi come for a talk. We also had Josh Peck, but I believe that was
Right.
like a comedy routine. And Kiki Palmer also.
Oh, right. Yeah. So large scale people coming to campus. So this is the Student Activities Board that kind of hosts those things. They also host a bunch of things kind of like on here that you'll see, like the Winter Ball and Spring Carnival. So these are more traditional events that people are looking forward to every year, and that SAB, as we like to call it, put it on for the year. There's also something called Blue Day, and I think Olivia could talk more about that, as SAB kind of hosts that when you first get to campus.
Yeah, so Blue Day is like my favorite part of the fall semester. I think it happens right after convocation, which is like the official freshman welcome, like with the president and all of that, all those important people. And it's basically just like a giant carnival. There are a bunch of like fried foods, so there are like the funnel cakes and like the zeppelis and all of that stuff, as well as a few like carnival games and stuff. And it's also the most important part that any Seton Hall student will tell you is that you get a free shirt if you're there early. And the, like these big tents and like honestly like the Blue Day shirts, everyone's obsessed with them, and like at least I am. Some people might not like them, but I mean, I think they're great.
Yeah, by the time you're done with Seton Hall, you'll have a lot of swag. That's really the bottom line. You'll have a lot of different event shirts. So yeah, so the Student Activities Board does a lot. So then there's student government, as mentioned. There is a little bit less of a way to get involved in the sense that, like, sorry, one more thing about Student Activities Board as I'm saying that, is that you can apply to be on the board. You can also apply to kind of participate in the events and work the events, but you also can just, it's open to all students to attend. So I just wanted to add that the Student Activities Board is a small group, but you can apply to be on that board. And then with student government, similarly, you would have to apply or run for seats. So there are 3 freshman senator seats available within student government, and student government works to create a better campus community, looks at finances and registering clubs and organizations. They tend to host the town hall, committee meetings, Taste of South Orange, and overall, just kind of lead the student organizations and make sure that they're following suit so that they're providing programs for students. If you were interested in being on student government and being on their senator seats, you can be involved in one of the committees within the student senate. So this could be finance, student life, academics, public relations, village relations, and more. Ultimately, they really work to just be a student advocacy group so that students feel engaged in their community and they're making positive change for Seton Hall. So then fraternity and sorority life, there are 27 Greek lettered organizations. If you have questions about fraternity and sorority life, we can definitely talk about it, but I do just want to note that recruitment isn't offered until the beginning of spring semester of freshman year. If you are a transfer student, you have to have at least 12 credits, I believe, to be considered for recruitment process. So it can happen technically your first semester if you're a transfer student, if you have those credits lined up. But as a first year student coming into college for the first time, recruitment doesn't start till this spring. So there's going to be opportunities in the fall to start learning about them, like info sessions. There's going to be events on the green, like Greeks on the Green, at the Welcome Week events. There's going to be something hosted by the Fraternity and Sorority Life students. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities to kind of see what they're all about and give you an opportunity to think about if you're interested in doing that in the spring. They typically hold things like formal recruitment and philanthropy events. That's like their biggest thing. You'll see them a lot on the green with hosting things, especially in this warmer weathers. Fraternity and sorority life, they come out. They host things like Alpha FIFA, which is like a soccer tournament. There's things like they have, like, I know, a football tournament, just different things throughout the year to promote philanthropy for the most part, but also to be social and have events for students on campus. As noted before, fraternity and sorority life has different areas. So there is the College Panhellenic, there is Interfraternity Council, and Interfraternity Council would just be for male students or male identified students, and then for CPC, Collegiate Panhellenic Council, this will be for students who are female identified. And then post that, there's different areas that you can join fraternity and sorority life that are not specific to gender. So there are the business fraternity, fraternity, they're called, the service fraternity, where they do bunch of service for this community and outside of the community, and there's also cultural based fraternities and sorority life if that's of interest as well. So definitely be on the lookout for fraternity and sorority life. So in terms of clubs and organizations, there are 130 plus student-run organizations, which is a heckin' lot for Seton Hall. So it's open and free to all students. The opportunity to create new clubs every semester is a possibility, but we recommend looking at the clubs that are available first to make sure that there's not something you're missing. And then there's an involvement fair every semester. So this year it'll be, I think, the first week of classes. That Wednesday will be the involvement fair. All these clubs are going to come out, and you get an opportunity to walk around and see what's available. So the programs they include either from dances to formals to cultural celebrations. Really, the list kind of goes on and on about what these organizations can do. And like I mentioned, they're really based on interest. So some of them might be sports related, some of them might be cultural related, some of them might be a gaming club. Like, it really is just based on the interest of students and kind of forming a social group with friends. So with the 130 plus student run organizations, you'll find them all over campus, whether that's tabling, hosting events. It's open and free to all students. There's no extra fees for membership requirements. And all clubs are registered and financed through the Student Government Association, so that there is a standard of practice for all these organizations to make sure they're providing you the best experience.
Hey guys.
Hi, I'm Wes.
So now, before we get to
Hey guys.
There we go. Okay, we have a little video some of our interns kind of put together talking about their experience on campus. So I'm going to let Olivia kind of get to the next slide so that you can hear from students themselves talking about their experience.
Hey guys.
Hi, I'm Wes.
My name is Amber, and I'm a junior political science major.
I'm getting my MBA in business analytics. Undergrad, I was a finance, economics, and IT major.
Olivia, I'm a senior here at Seton Hall.
On campus, I'm involved with Shoe Survivors,
Lambda Theta Alpha Latin Sorority Incorporated,
K-pop club.
I'm involved in the Italian club, which I'm the president of. As
Student Activities Board, I was the director of operations.
Martin Luther King Scholarship Association,
Colleges Against Cancer, which is our Relay for Life team on campus.
And Mythos.
So there's two main ways to be involved. The first is the in-person involvement fair, which takes place on August 31st, and that's just a really great way to meet with the clubs face-to-face and learn more about them.
The reason why I got involved on campus was for 3 reasons. 1, to feel more connected to the Seton Hall community. 2, to find people that I liked on campus with similar interests. And 3, to gain leadership experiences.
My favorite memory of a campus event was definitely the Italian club's dessert night. It's a great way to make friends and sort of create a support group here on campus.
Engage is a really great way to see the list of all the clubs and organizations we have. And just search and filter by what you're interested in. So that can either be academics, social organizations, and things like that.
And it was really cool to be able to share aspects of Italian culture, people who had never eaten a cannoli before, or et cetera, et cetera.
If you're worried or wondering how to get involved on campus, a great place to start is to get a friend that you already know, find a club that you guys are both interested, or just one of you guys is interested in, go together as, emotional support or just an extra pair of eyes. And, figure it out whether or not you like the people, the activities that the club usually does. And if you do, great, go to more meetings.
The Core Gap is really useful to see like a week by week or a day by day listing of all the events that are happening on campus. So just make sure you're updated with everything that's going on.
And my favorite OSC event was definitely the movie nights that we had during the fall semester. I remember sitting on the fire pits with my friends. It's always just a great experience, getting to bond.
And the involvement calculator is a really great way to, if you're not really sure where to start searching for the right club or organization for you, it's a great way to fill out what you're interested in, what your major is, and one of our members on the student engagement team will personally, pick 5 or 6 organizations that they think you'd be a great fit for. So that's a really easy way, if you don't know where to start, to start getting involved.
Okay, awesome. So before we go to questions, I do want to show you the Engage page that was mentioned in the presentation. So Olivia, if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen. Let me pull that up. Okay, so now that you all are students of Seton Hall, you probably already got your login to get to your email and different things like that as you start getting your ID and your courses, etc. So this is Engage. So this is something you can get to. I'll pull it up through this. You can see that I'm on another tab, right? Okay, great. Okay, so if you look up the SHU portal, PirateNet login here. Hope we're not a duo push. I think it should be good for today. Oh, it is. So embarrassing. You guys all got to deal with this duo push. Make sure you have your phone with you at all times when you log into Seton Hall materials. Okay. So once you're on here, you can kind of look around in different aspects of kind of what's going on campus. And I believe Engage is right here. So we'll click that just to show you how to get there if you couldn't find it. So you can also use this link up here, but that's an easier way to find it if you can't remember. So then when you're on here, you can look at the different organizations. So we're going to click here. So this is events. So before we get to organizations, I apologize. So these are all the events that are coming up. So Blue Day, as Olivia mentioned, is already up here. Involvement Fair is already up here. But you can see that all these events have been approved already, and they will be hosted on campus this year. And so this will get way more populated as we get closer to the semester and in the beginning of the year.
You're not showing your screen. We're still seeing the Instagram.
No, it's the canvas with questions.
You guys don't see it? Because I see it. I mean, like, I believe you. Maybe you want to just try, like, sharing again?
Yes, I'll try. I apologize.
Teams can be a little funky sometimes. Sorry.
Can you see that now?
I mean, I see it. I'm not sure.
Are you sharing the right screen?
You're seeing the presentation still?
I'm seeing the follow us on Instagram at Hall Students questions.
Oh,
Yeah, see, that's Olivia's page.
Yeah, but I'm not sharing my screen anymore. Huh. I mean, I'm gonna recommend...
Olivia, maybe if you're able to pull up the Engage page, since it's showing your pages still, maybe that'll work. So let's see. Let's try that. I apologize, everybody. I thought it was popping up. It said sharing. See, I see that for Olivia. Do you all see that? This is Explore Seton Hall University.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry about that. Let's just go from this one. We'll look at Olivia's page, and that'll work. Can you show them the portal first to just show how to get to there?
Hold on. Yeah. I might have to sign in too.
Okay. So if you look up Seton Hall University portal, one of the first links that'll come up is it'll say that Seton Hall University portal, Pirate Net as it's called. And so as Olivia's logging in here, you're going to see all the apps that are available to you as a student. So it has things like ResLife, your email, your calendar, etc. So she's going to click on Engage, which is where I want you all to go to see student organizations. And you should be able to log in here because you most likely have already gained access to your email, your course schedule, etc. So you should have a login for Seton Hall. So this is the main page for Engage that Olivia is on right now. So she's already part of some clubs, so that's why they're listed here for her. But since you all are new, it probably won't have anything there except for student engagement potentially. So Olivia, if you can click on the events on the side, it's like the second tab. So she clicked on the second tab. I feel like that was hard to see, but it's on the left side where that little home house looking thing is. Just kind of, your mouse over it. Perfect. So events there. Perfect. Yeah, just couldn't see that for a second. So now here are all the events that are going to be happening in the fall. Like we said, there's going to be a lot more added. Things are going to populate throughout the semester and especially within the first 2 weeks of the year. But these are things that have already been pre-approved, have the space confirmed, and will be happening this fall. So the biggest things are these starter ones. So like Blue Day is on here, like Olivia mentioned, and the Involvement Fair. Those are the big things that I recommend going to in the very beginning. And most likely you will be going to because a lot of your friends and anyone you interact with will probably be there because it's kind of an all-campus affair. So you can search events. So if you look on the side, Olivia, if you scroll down for a second, you can search events. You can see tomorrow, this weekend. You can select different categories, different themes. So let's just say you don't know what organization you're looking for. See, like you can click Fraternity and Sorority Life. That would lead you to a different branch that lists ones that are in Fraternity and Sorority Life. Can you do in categories, Olivia? So categories, you can do cultural based, you can do conferences, fundraisers, leadership, religious. So there's ultimately all these different areas that you can kind of peruse events on campus. So then also, if you're curious before the Involvement Fair and you want to get a taste of what organizations are on campus, Olivia, do you want to show them how to get to the organizations on the side? Similarly to where you found the events, you click that tab there, and then you can click organizations. So then once you're on here, this lists every organization that we have here at Seton Hall. So like we said before, you can similarly do the categories. And so if you click categories, Olivia, let's just say you did art and music. You click that, now it's going to populate which clubs are based on art and music. So it quickly eliminates other ones for you and kind of circles in on the ones you're interested in and allows you to search through. And let's just say we're going to click on the K-pop club. So if you look at that, we can kind of peruse. You can click join if you're interested early and say you're interested. You can also click to email them. There's their information here. It says it's open to all students, and there's contact information as well. So this kind of provides you all the details you would need to kind of check out. Even these are news articles they've posted about their events that they're hosting. So there's a lot of ways to kind of peruse organizations and what involvement looks like through the Engage portal. So Olivia, if you want to go back to the main, unless you think there's something else to show, I think those are the two main things. So if you want to go back to the PowerPoint. So I guess now we'll kind of open it up to questions. So if you have questions for Olivia as a student, that's great. She'd be happy to answer them. But if you also have questions about something for me and you want to ask something about Engage or the PowerPoint, feel free to do so. You can kind of open up by voice talking, or you can do it in the chat. It's really up to anybody.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there any outdoorsing clubs that you would have at Seton Hall?
Outdoors clubs?
Yes.
So Olivia, are you still on Engage?
Yeah, hold on, give me a second.
Okay.
Let me share my screen again.
So let's just test it out. Might as well, our system here. So she'll actually go to the search bar. I don't even think she needs to go to organizations. She can just type outdoors. Let's just see.
So I believe that a lot of like hikes and stuff are like done through either Dove or through campus ministry. They have a lot of like walking, like meditations and stuff like that. I don't know of any specific like hiking or like outdoorsy club, but that's always something that you could start, or wait until the semester starts and see if what campus ministry offers in terms of like outdoors, like hiking and stuff, is what you're looking for. But I can also go, let's see if we go to categories. I don't think, yeah.
There's also probably different variations of this. So like I just kind of brought up one. It's called like EPAC. Is another variation, and yeah, if you want to look that up. So it's not outdoors club specifically. What is EPAC? Let's find out. But basically it's like an environmental group. So they do different activities. I know I was looking at one that I was about like bird watching. So there are different opportunities with that.
Okay, they're not showing up, but they do exist.
Yes.
But yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions?
So just in the chat, I'm gonna put kind of like a little how to contact OSC, I guess, but I think it's important. It's our email where we're located. A direct link to Engage, but you should normally just be accessing it through PirateNet, as well as where you can find our involvement calculator, which is like if you're a little bit confused by Engage, or you just kind of want something a little bit more, I don't know, compact, I guess. The involvement calculator, which was talked about in the video a little bit, will kind of, one of us like in the office will provide you a list after you answer some questions about what you're interested in, of like 4 to 7 clubs that you can reach out to eventually, which is found on our Instagram page, which is @HallStudents, in like the link tree in our bio, which you should all follow because also a lot of events will be posted there.
Olivia. So I will say, I don't want to hold people. If there are no other questions, You don't need to kind of hang out with us any longer. I know it's like dinner time for people. But if Olivia and I are going to stay on here, so if people do have questions, they can feel free to ask us. But otherwise, we hope you get involved on campus, and we hope that you kind of find these different opportunities through the various formats there seem to be. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Just a question that I have. I wanted to know if majority of the events are held mostly on the weekend, like Friday nights. Do majority of them take place during that time, or there's a good amount that take place during the week?
There's a lot that take place during the week. I think we just are promoting that there's some on the weekends for the students that do live on campus, that they feel that they are prepared to know that there are things going on for them. I know a lot of clubs post things on Thursdays, I think, like SAB will host a lot on Thursdays, a lot on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Probably less Monday because I feel like people don't necessarily just want to go to things on Mondays. But there are events throughout the week, and I know Olivia probably could attest to that more.
No, ditto. There's a lot of stuff during the week. I think on the weekend you'll find like a lot of the bigger clubs, and like SAB have stuff. But like everyday quote unquote clubs will usually have stuff during the week.
And a lot of the smaller clubs anyway, like that maybe don't have the size or the funding, like a student activities board will host during the week just based on need and how it works with their schedules. It's a lot easier for student activities board to host on the weekend because they have professional staff that kind of support that because it's not a student government organization. But otherwise, there are events all week long. Great question, though. Any other questions? So if there are no other questions, we are going to end this session. Like I said, if you still have a question you want us to hang on, we are more than happy to do that. But we just want to kind of be respectful of everyone's time.